Thank you. Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. It's presented by Casamigos Tequila, brought to you by those who drink it. What a setting every Sunday that we get a chance to call San Francisco home for the week. We are very fortunate. 61 degrees, clear skies, wind blowing out to right as the Mets are in town to wrap up this series with the San Francisco Giants. Giants have struggled out of the gate here, 7-13, but getting healthier, and as a result, more hopeful about the way things will turn out. Some former Mets in the lineup, and some, like that guy, J.D. Davis, being very productive. Meantime, Pete Alonso's off to an unbelievable start. 10 home runs for the Polar Bear. He, Lindor, Nimmo have been outstanding at the top of the Mets order. They are 7-2 on this 10-game trip. Before we start, let's go back into the Wayback Machine and remind everyone how these two franchises are connected. Roll it all the way back to the early 1900s when the Giants of New York called Manhattan home and played at the Polo Grounds. New York City was starting to bustle then. The subway system and automobiles led to a migration of the suburbs. Fewer people walking to the ballpark, attendance declines, televisions increase. And those Brooklyn Dodgers were looking to move west. It was the Dodgers who pointed the Giants to San Francisco. Summer of '58, poof, they are gone from New York, leaving the city without a National League team for the first time since the 80s, the 1880s. Fast forward to the 1960s, and Major League Baseball has a growth spurt, adding 4 teams, including, that's right, the New York Mets to the National League. And this modern-day version of the Mets are flush with money and megastars. The Giants play in a gorgeous cathedral and are having a hard time landing any big fish. The fortunes of these two franchises are linked forever. Currently, though, thousands of miles apart physically, and millions and millions and millions of dollars financially. Welcome inside our Sunday night booth. That's David Cohn, Eduardo Perez, Buster Olney in just a couple of minutes. They are united in the way that they became the Mets from the team that left to San Francisco. And there's a lot of similarities. Both teams have been banged up early, but New York's having an awful lot of success. How are they doing it?
Well, they're killing it on the road, obviously.
Yep.
They've got a 7-2 road trip going on the West Coast swing. They played the most road games in Major League Baseball so far, 17. So when you got Alonso banging home runs, you got
right.
Nimmo on base all the time. They're making up for the for the pitching side, waiting for some guys to get healthy.
A win tonight would be their best record over a 10-game road trip since '07. You go back to '86 when you just include the California road trips. They went 8-1 on a 9-game trip back then. All right, so they're going to get healthier with Verlander coming back shortly. He pitched today. On the other side, San Francisco's getting some offensive reinforcement soon. That's going to help.
Yeah, that's going to help. Tonight is already a start to it. Jock Peterson coming back from the right wrist inflammation he had. But when you can get Austin Slater, you can get Mitch Haniger back, and they're expected back in the next series, that is a huge move because the way that the roster is set up for the Giants, they play the matchups. And the matchups against left-handed pitching has been pretty weak. They're hoping to solidify that soon.
They did tee off on a lefty yesterday, and we'll see if they're about to turn a corner on Sunday Night Baseball. That guy gets a start for the New York Mets, Tyler McGill on the mound. In the meantime, the veteran Ross Stripling gets the call for the Giants. It's Stripling McGill. It's the former team that called New York home. Now San Francisco, the Giants, and the Mets, who have seen sticky fingers, possums, and man, has it not bothered them at all. Looking for their 8th win in 10 games when we come back. Say hey kid, Willie Mays on Sunday Night Baseball. It's presented by Casamigos Tequila. Brought to you by those who drink it. New York, San Francisco, New York, and outside this beautiful ballpark, Oracle Park, statue of one of the greatest to ever play the game of baseball, Willie Mays, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1979. One of the great postseason catches of all time, and that's what you see when you enter Oracle Park, walking down the main street here in San Francisco, just outside the ballpark. Hard to beat picture postcard. Before we start this one, let's send it down to Buster.
Yeah, Carl, I've got Francisco Lindor here. You know that a lot of times West Coast trips can be really difficult for teams. You guys are 8-1, trying to finish this one up strongly. What have you guys done well during this time?
I think the most important thing when you have a long road trip and you know time zones are going to be different, you're sticking together, not trying to be the hero. You're just passing the baton, and that's been our motto since last year, is don't try to be the hero, just pass the baton. We have amazing players, amazing hitters, and great pitching staff here that we don't have to be the hero every single night. There's someone different every single day.
Pete Alonso off to a great start, 10 homers, 23 RBI.
Yeah.
How have you seen him evolve the last couple of years?
My God, he has improved significantly in a sense of the maturity at the plate. He stays with the pitch that he wants, and he doesn't miss it. And if he misses it, he comes back next at bat and just turns the page and focus on what he can do better and just execute. That's been the biggest turning point for him. I'm happy to have him on my team. I'm witnessing history day in and day out. I can't wait for the end of the year.
Francisco, thanks. Back to you guys.
Buster, thank you very much. And the very difficult National League East. The Mets on this 10-game road trip have been outstanding. Part of the reason is the guy at the top of this lineup, Brandon Nimmo, is 22 for his last 44 over the last 10 games. Of course, an 8-year, $162 million deal. He's the table setter in this lineup.
He really is. And not only does he take a lot of pitches, sees a lot of pitches, helps out Marte, Lindor, Alonso, who come on after him, and McNeil very aggressive at the plate. Really good balance.
Before our first pitch, it's time for Planning Ahead. It's brought to you by Voya Financial. And of course, both of these teams were in on the Carlos Correa sweepstakes. Neither of them end up with them. And there's been some criticism in San Francisco about the moves that the Giants did and didn't make. They went out and spent a whole bunch of money, at least $25 million on all of these guys, with the exception of Luke Jackson. But 5 guys got $25 million or more. Haniger hasn't played yet. We'll see Conforto tonight. Manaya's been okay. Rogers has been very good. Boy, Gabe Kapler was really pumping Ross Stripling as a very good Major League pitcher who has not been great. But it's not as if he gets in a little trouble early, he's yanking him out of the game. He has great trust in Ross Stripling.
Well, you have to. I mean, when you think about it, this is such a small sample size, and this is a guy who normally keeps the ball in the ballpark. Only 12 home runs given up all last year. This year, 6 already in April, so he's got to turn it around for San Francisco to have any chance to have a solid rotation.
You know, you heard Buster talking with Francisco Lindor. We mentioned Nimmo's impact on this team. One of the traits of the Mets early this season, they have not chased like they had in years past. It's a difficult lineup to navigate because they're a little bit more picky. So Stripling will start it. Nimmo's first man up, and the first pitch is ball 1. As Buck said to us, like every at-bat for Nimmo, whether he's on base or not, is a productive at-bat for the team. One else swung on and pops sky high. Catcher Blake Sable sees it, waits for it, and makes the play. That wasn't very productive after 2 pitches.
Yeah, here we're talking him up, right? The announcer's jinx, right? If we had that kind of power.
I say nothing. That's how the baseball game works. But look, one thing that we do know from the top 2 guys in the order is what Buck wants is at least if they get on, they create havoc on the bases, and you have the opportunity of having 5 at-bats per game.
Starting Marte is in right field. He bats second. It's Stripling's first pitch to him. In there, strike 1. Roberto Ortiz, generally a pitcher-friendly strike zone, calls balls and strikes tonight. Marte followed by Lindor and then Alonso. On the ground, J.D. Davis, who's been terrific defensively and certainly offensively, on a couple of hops, throws across.
Really has, and when you play a 4 o'clock Pacific Coast time start here at this ballpark at Oracle Park, you better get your offense early. Because once the shadows step in, there's like a 2 or 3 inning gap where it becomes a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Hard to see with those shadows.
Davis, Crawford, Estrada, Lamont Wade Jr. at first base, Yastrzemski, Wisely, and Conforto, the former Met, in the outfield. Breaking pitch on the corner, a knuckle curve in there for strike 1. Throw a slider, 4-seam, changeup, curveball, sinker, and that split finger, which we just saw. The next pitch, a fastball at 92, misses high.
Yesterday, Francisco was sporting the braids. Today, it's all out. It's loose.
You know, when you look at April, you're trying to figure out what type of team you have offensively and from a pitching staff. And offensively, the Mets are shaping up to be a really tough 1-9 lineup. They walk more, they strike out less this year. I mean, really off the chart so far, early in the early going.
That one, a hard hopper at first. Lamont Wade Jr. there, and a good start for Ross Stripling. He throws only 8 pitches and gets Nimmo, Marte, and Lindor in order. We'll see Tyler McGill against the Giants when we come back on Sunday Night Baseball. Tyler McGill on the mound. It's a righty, which is significant for this San Francisco Giant lineup. They have been feasting on righties, not so much against lefties. A right-handed pitcher on the mound. Their OPS jumps to 799, a 458 slug, 5th best in baseball, and they got 25 homers against righties, 4th most in baseball. Lefties have chowed them.
Tyler McGill has had trouble with lefties in his career. He's big guy, excellent extension, good fastball, good slider. You see his numbers on the year. The K rate a little bit down, walk rate a little above average. Lefty's batting .324 off him this year, righty's just .163.
First inning's been a bit of a challenge for him. You saw his numbers there. It'll be Lamont Wade Jr., Conforto, and J.D. Davis. And McGill's first pitch, driven to right field. Is it high enough to get over the wall? No. Off the top of the brick, and Conforto on one pitch at first base with a shot to right, 106 miles an hour off the bat.
Let's go right away. First pitch you see, don't miss it, and that's exactly what Lamont Wade Jr. did right there, but excellently played in right field by Marte. Up cam showing the contact, but it is really difficult to play that wall. So many nooks and crannies. Ball bounced perfectly into Marte's hand to keep him at first.
Now, Lamont Wade Jr., as I said, Conforto, who's now up on one pitch, man on first, and McGill to Conforto. That's outside, 1-0.
That's what you call selling out on the first pitch.
Woo.
Looking for a fastball, started early and smoke it.
Lamont Wade's been outstanding with his hard hit rate, amongst the best in baseball and on this team. Not a big lead. Next one to Conforto is in there. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 years, $36 million in January for Conforto, who hadn't played since 2021. Of course, had shoulder surgery in April of 22. Lindor shaded up the middle, and that one misses high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lindor and Guillorme, the double play combination up the middle. This ball is pulled, but it's foul. And we have had 99 splash hits by Giant hitters. The next one is a milestone 100. Foul balls don't count.
They don't count?
No, they don't
But it's
count.
in the water. It's splashed.
It's a souvenir, but it won't count as the splash on a homer.
Beat me to it.
2-2. 3-2.
3-2.
Tony McGill's a 4-seam slider, changeup guy with an occasional curveball. His fastball usage this year is down. His slider usage is up. 3-2.
Ball forward.
First 2 men have reached for the Giants.
The Giants trying to do exactly what they did yesterday in the first inning. They scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second. Ended up winning that game 7-4, but this is their MO. They have to be able to attack early and get the Mets on against the wall.
You see J.D. Davis, that 134 OPS plus with a major league average of 100. He's been terrific. Been a little bit better on the road, his numbers, than they have been at home. But a big chance here to get to McGill on the Mets early. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Three batters, 3 first pitch swings. Another one fouled off. J.D. Davis, since his arrival from the Mets at the deadline, he slashed 276, 356, and over 500. And how about this? He is amongst the hardest hit leaders since 2022 behind Judge and Alvarez.
Yeah, it doesn't take into account, obviously, where it was hit on the ground or in the air, but certainly hard contact.
Yeah, 0-2, and this is double play ball. That's Beatty. Guillorme, double play.
That's one thing that the Mets have been able to have this season, is that defense in the infield has really played up. Joey Cora in charge of the infield play. Beatty making the first error of the Mets yesterday. Fields this one cleanly. Had some early work with Joey Cora on the side. Nice dish over to Guillorme.
It's a great point, Eduardo. I mean, the Mets have shown excellent defense this year. All the little things Billy Epler and Buck Showalter have put together. Constructing a team that does things well. They walk more, they strike out less, they catch the ball.
And Buck Showalter raves about his coaching staff. Here's Jock Peterson, the designated hitter. And that first pitch is in there for a strike. He's missed the last 9 games with right wrist inflammation. The team went 2-7 in the 9 games he was on the IL. Elliot Ramos optioned to AAA before the game. Good pitch there from McGill as Peterson swings and misses at a curveball, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
That's probably his most effective pitch against left-handed batters, is that curveball. A little bigger break, a little slower velocity.
Time out.
As Eduardo talked about at the top, you have Peterson back in the lineup. Haniger and Slater, the 2 right-handed hitters, soon to come back. It may be as early as their next game that one or both are back. And the 1-2 to Jock Peterson. That's high, 2-2.
And both of them in rehab assignments in Sacramento. Austin Slater with that left hamstring strain he ended up having in March, and so Mitch Haniger with the left oblique.
They have been prone to striking out. Been a big story for the Giants early this season. That one misses away, and Peterson's fought back from an 0-2 to a 3-2. Jock over the glove and off of it of Guillorme. An RBI for Peterson. He plates LaMonte Wade, and San Francisco is up 1-0.
And he hit that ball right on the button, and Luis Guillorme just a step and a jump to his right, but this ball is scolded right off the sweet spot. Umcamp showing the perfect angle of it, and the reaction, 2 steps to his right, right off the glove.
That's how you attack a high fastball, right there.
Mike Yastrzemski. Everybody, Cody, now as a pitcher, there's a good catch there is right. As a pitcher, they swung at every first pitch.
Yeah, you can see the theme, right? This guy throws a lot of strikes. Get him early. San Francisco's a very aggressive team as it is, as we saw those numbers, and kind of the all-or-nothing approach with home runs or strikeouts.
And McGill, classic starter, get them early, and they did it again here. 8 earned this season, and 5 have come in the first inning.
Does it get in your head a little bit, Coney? First inning woes?
It does. It's always the hardest inning. You're trying to get the rough edges worn off, trying to settle into, a different mound. You warm up in the bullpen, and you have your great stuff, and then you get out on the game mound, and you got to start your alignment all over, get your holes dug out, where you're going to land. Emotionally, too, it can be kind of difficult just to get through, get a couple of outs.
Lefties have feasted on McGill versus righties. That one is called a strike. Over 300 average versus the righties that are under 200.
That's what McGill needs right there. He needs that third pitch for left-handed batters, like every good starter in the big leagues. He's a young guy trying to figure his way out. He's got good stuff, good extension, but needs that third pitch.
Yastrzemski, that one is down the line, but it's foul off the screen. 4 homers, 10 RBIs, a .257 batting average for Yastrzemski. Since May of 1977 home runs, 20 more than the next closest on this team.
Outside.
Seemed kind of in search mode, Eduardo. You see that? Tried to go with a curveball there. He's a little unsure how to finish off left-handed batters. Do I go with my changeup? Try a curveball? Jock Peterson kind of mashed the last fastball that was up out over the plate, and that'll scare you off of it a little bit.
Francisco Alvarez behind the plate on the 2-2. Stays alive as he fouls off.
You know what, the other thing that it told me was Jock Peterson's wrist. It's pretty darn good right there with that one. The last line drive, and the pitch sequence says it all. Showed that curve changeup in the third pitch. His MO, he doesn't go back to it late in counts, especially against lefties. One thing he hasn't
of
done,
the at bat here, Eduardo.
One thing he hasn't done is gone in, stayed away.
Nope.
Tried to come in there at 97. See him looking down at the mound as well. Third full count.
Anytime in the first inning you get your fastball banged, one off the wall and one off the second baseman's glove, it makes you a little uncertain of your heater early.
A walk and a single in the other 2 full counts. Peterson goes and a roll over to Guillorme. And a changeup gets him. Lamont Wade rocked one off the wall in right. After a double play, he was picked up by the designated hitter, Jock Peterson. Giants, after winning yesterday, are up 1-0 over the Mets and feeling better.
I'm a power hitter, and for me, I think I'm the best power hitter on the planet.
Hard to argue with Pete Alonso. Of course, a couple of times a home run derby champion and off to an amazing start for the New York Mets. And since his debut in 19, he's got more homers than Aaron Judge. He's got more RBIs than Jose Abreu. Those 2 guys are second on the list. He's also played 96 more games than Aaron Judge, which should be noted. First pitch, change up there, or a knuckle curve is fouled off down the third baseline. But it's hard to argue, guys, that he's got anybody who is above him as far as power hitters go.
I love that confidence. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a great guy. But when you play in New York and you're playing for the Mets, that plays big in the fan base. They love to hear that. This guy's very confident, and rightly so. Off to a tremendous start.
So is Stripling, as he's ahead of Alonso 0-2. We got a little violation on Stripling. Now, as a pitcher 0-2, does that really bother you to go 1-2?
1-2.
Within the context of this at bat, probably not as much, no. But yeah, it could still get in your head. Like, how did I miss that? What's going on?
Alonso hits it hard on the ground. Crawford bobbled it for a second, but he got it right in his hand, and he fires across the diamond, and Alonso is retired. Hit that ball 108 miles an hour. That Thursday night, were you doing the Yankee game that we started the season? Clemens, the Rockets, said, I'm 0-2. I don't care if I go 1-2. One of those who said I'd get a violation all the time. Stripling, an interesting delivery right over the top. I mean, directly as you watch that arm go right over the top, and the first pitch to McNeil misses. Want to know to Jeff McNeil. End of the bat, little bleeder, and that's going to drop. Crawford goes to pick it up. McNeil rounds. But Crawford on it quickly, and Jeff McNeil is aboard with a single.
How about that? Take it anytime, right off the end of the bat. Base hit. Jeff McNeil choked up big time on the S2 bat. That's the same model Clemente used to use right there. Good plate coverage.
Magic wand. dump it in there.
And the power threat that is Daniel Vogelbach, the designated hitter.
And the beauty of this is you have a free swinging hitter in McNeil, and now you have a very patient hitter at the plate in Vogelbach.
Patient is right. Lowest swing rate in baseball this season, Vogelbach.
He's tough on right-handed pitching too as well. Eyeballing pitches, but when he sees one he likes, takes a lash. I mean, you mentioned Stripling's right over the top style. I mean, you can tell that's built for control.
Yeah.
Rather than power. And he has excellent control. Only 20 walks all last year.
His road to the mound is an interesting one for Stripling as he gets set to deliver an 0-2 to Vogelbach, and this one is into right field. It's down in front of Conforto, and the Mets have runners at first and second.
0-2, base hit. Those are the ones you always have to circle, those 0-2s. With the pitch, Vogelbach fouling off the first 0-2 pitch, this time trying to come in on an 87-mile-per-hour breaking pitch, and he brings his hands in strong enough to just get it over the infield.
That's the pitch that's really bothered Stripling this year. That slider was so good for him last year. This year, not so much.
Chance for
so
Brett
far.
Beatty. Yeah, not so far. And here's Beatty, and that first pitch is in there for a strike. So Stripling broke his kneecap his junior year of high school. He was then asked to chart pitches, and he hated it. And with even out the doctor's clearance, he kind of gravitated towards the mound because he could keep the knee straight by landing on it. He wouldn't flex that front leg, so he would land on that front knee and realized, I can do this. And that allowed this delivery to sort of be born. And he went on to college, had a terrific collegiate experience. He's a stockbroker as well, a professional stockbroker, and here he is, a fielder trying to shovel the ball, and he can't. And the bases are loaded. Keep an eye on Stripling. Was he watching the ball? Was he looking at the runner, the first baseman? But the bases are loaded with Mets.
Looks like a rush job to me as he gets there and he's trying to decide right now, oh, I'm going to flip it with my glove, but you got to get it first. And then once he misses and whiffs on the first one, once that happened, the rest of it's going to be really difficult. He tries to stab at it, grab it, and runs right on by.
It's like he peeked up for a second.
You're trying to see the runner out of your peripheral vision. You think, well, I got to be quick. I'm going to have to shovel this with my glove rather than make the catch and then use your hand.
Now, what an opportunity for Francisco Alvarez, the catcher, with the bases loaded.
Here we go.
And one out. Strike one to Alvarez with a slider. Mets have not gotten much offense from their catchers this season at all. In fact, they are looking for their first extra base hit from that position. McNeil is at third, Vogelbach at second, Beatty at first.
This guy was putting on a show during batting practice, Coney.
The talent is there, Eduardo, as you know. It's just a matter of reps for him. He gets enough opportunities, it's going to show up eventually.
Outside.
Doesn't get the call. Couple of inches off. 2 balls and a strike.
It's a great take. A lot of young hitters go after that pitch right there. It would have changed the whole at bat instead of the 2-1 that it is to 1-2.
That's on the corner. Similar as far as how far outside it was to the prior pitch, but he gets the call. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I used to get that same call in 1994. Right there.
Wow.
Wow.
He tracked that changeup really well.
3-2.
It's the way he took it. Saw it the entire way. Watch the eyes here.
#1 prospect in all of baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. And he rolls one on the ground. Could be 2. Crawford. Yes, sir. Estrada throws it, and they pick up a huge double play to get out of the inning. And the Mets do not score after having the bases loaded with 1 down. The Alvarez grounded a double play. Keeps the Mets off the board. Bottom second coming up from San Francisco with the Giants on top. San Francisco this week, Houston, Texas next week. The Philadelphia Phillies will be in town to take on the Astros. Big week coming up for the Astros. They beat Atlanta today 5-2. Had a good series against the Braves. They go to Tampa Bay to start a series with the Red Hot Rays. Tampa Bay a winner today, 4-1 over the White Sox. Another homer. They've homered in every game to start the season, now 22. And we will see the Phillies and the Astros next Sunday at 7 Eastern time with, of course, baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown starting at 6. Kyle Schwarber will be wearing the microphone. Brandon Nimmo wears it for us tonight. That first pitch nearly clips Thairo Estrada. It'll be Estrada, Brandon Crawford, and Blake Sabol, the catcher.
Little wrinkle there, right on right changeup there from McGill to Estrada, a really good fastball hitter.
This ball driven deep to left, going back and turning around and not even watching is McNeil. Big time power, Thairo Estrada.
And a pretty good slider hitter as well, Coney. Especially if they hang, and that's exactly what happened right there. The sequence was slider, changeup, slider. And the results was 3 left turns around the bases and 106.6 mile per hour off the bat. Thairo Estrada muscling this one. Foot down, Barrel Johnson. Loud.
Nitro zone, middle in.
413 feet later, it landed in the stands in left field. Off a year in which Estrada had career bests in runs, hits, and home runs with 14. Crawford had a big 3-run home run yesterday, rolls one over slowly. Alonso will flip to McGill for the first out of the inning.
Something about those hanging sliders, they go a long way, Eduardo.
Do they really?
A lot of those. I threw a lot of those just like that.
Now, were yours sliders or sweepers?
Wow. The ones that didn't sweep definitely were sliders. Another look from the side here. The slider's off speed, obviously, and you see the data allows him to get the barrel out in front. When you get the barrel out in front, you get launch angle at 30 degrees and obviously a lot of bat speed, 106.6 miles an hour, and that's a home run everywhere.
So that gets over the monster in Fenway Park?
Oh, easily. On the way to Sitco.
To the Mass Turnpike?
With a bounce or two.
Sabol's the catcher. Giants won yesterday 7-4. They scored in each of the first 2 innings. They've done so again tonight.
Says the apex of Estrada's home run was 99 feet high. So almost Ray Guy territory, 5.5 seconds of hang time.
Hang time. Good Oakland Raider reference being where we are. 94, a little late for Sabol. Been a big story in baseball too, the idea that the Oakland A's may leave for Las Vegas. John Miller calling the game on Giants radio next door. Started his career for the Oakland A's. Of course, everybody knows him for his work at Sunday Night Baseball, and beloved in San Francisco as the called strike 3 on a changeup sends Sabol back to the bench.
How many feet above sea level is Vegas again? How many home runs are going to be hit there?
Thousands. I mean, they really pushed the 3 true outcome in Vegas. Brett Wisely now up, center fielder, swings at the first one, fouls it back.
That high fastball is working for Miguel, and that's the one he needs to show confidence in. He's been trying to keep the ball down, but that four-seamer has to work up.
Wisely first career hit on Friday night, called up from AAA on Tuesday. Second time this year he is on the roster opening day. You may remember, Coney, he was at the Yankees, played 2 innings in center field, and then a couple days later back to AAA as he watches one sail high and away.
Yeah, we hear that term a lot. But, you know, when I was in the minor leagues, if I could just get one day in the big leagues, it'll make it all worthwhile. And every year we kind of see something kind of like that. Not exactly Moonlight Graham, but, you know.
Oh, we saw it today, didn't we?
I was going to say, Drew Maggi added to the Pirates big league roster after 33 years. Second chance to make his debut and get a chance to play. Terrific video, it's everywhere, where his manager gives a long speech and finally says, and you know, with all this perseverance and grit, that's what this team's all about, and we want to reward one of our members by sending Maggi to the Pirates.
33 years old.
33 years old. Never played the big leagues. Swing and a miss. And McGill, that high cheese again, Eduardo. Back-to-back strikeouts of the 8-9 hitter.
That's it right there. You can get that instead of this. McGill be in good shape. If not, the Giants rolling right now, 2-0.
Back here in San Francisco, Giants manager Gabe Kapler. Jock Peterson back in the lineup, drives in a run, first plate appearance. What's the impact of him? And then later this week, Mitch Haniger, Austin Slater to your lineup.
Jock's huge in our lineup, obviously one of the better hitters in baseball versus right-handed pitching. One thing that most people don't notice is how deep he can go into counts and battle, find a pitch to drive into right center field like he did right there. When it first took off, it looked like it might be caught, but kind of had a second life based on how hard he hit it.
So we saw Ross Stripling. It looked like he called his own pitch on that 3-2 pitch that he got out of the first inning with. What'd you see in how he navigated through that?
Strip is big on count leverage in a game, and he wants to work from ahead, but when it gets to the most important point in the at-bat, I think he wants to have a lot of conviction in the pitch that he's going to throw. Called that one right there and executed beautifully.
Okay, thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, Buster, thank you. And quickly ahead of the number 9 hitter, Luis Guillorme. He has pounded the strike zone with his first pitches.
I guess you could say he's a 6-pitch pitcher. You know, if you count a 4-seamer, 2-seamer, changeup, and added a splitter this year. He's always had a really good changeup.
Made his major league debut in 2016, and that one misses down. 7 innings, no hits in that game. In his debut in 16, he was taken out after 7 1/3. And then the no-hitter disappeared on a line that's caught on the first baseman, Lamont Wade Jr.
I think what's interesting with Stripling is the fact that because he has that stiff front side, the release point being so high, one of the highest in the game, but on the curveball, it's at 7 feet 2 inches from the ground, compared to the fastball where it's at 6.9 feet. I mean, 6.9 feet off the ground. You look on average, most of the pitchers are in the low 6 to even 5 feet and some change.
Even the tall guys.
This is Verlander territory.
0-1 to Nimmo, 0-2 at 93, top of the zone. Nimmo's made a living here, highest career on-base percentage of the active outfielders. Look at the names on that list, and Nimmo's right there at 389. There you go, bounced in there as well. Nimmo got that big deal, and he's only gotten better. You know, you invest in guys because you think that they're going to get better. This is about not necessarily the present, but the future down the road. In 8 years, $162 million. We'll ask him about his contract, about his upbringing in Cheyenne, Wyoming, what it means to him to be a part of this team knowing going forward for a long time, and he's battled back to 3-2.
Well, according to Fangraphs, he has the highest WAR so far in the game, 1.6 WAR, F-WAR. It's absolutely scorching, especially on this road trip. Coming in, 487 batting average.
3-2, left field. Yastrzemski says he has it, and the wind takes him towards center, but he's under it for the catch, and they're 2 down.
And when you're playing left field in this ballpark at this time, going to his left, as he did, the sun is not in his eyes. But if it were to his right, our left, then that's where all the trouble starts for the left fielders. The sun just setting behind the first base dugout. Anytime it goes that way, no problem at all. The other side is the issue at this time of year.
That high strike is called again against Marte, who comes in with 1 homer, 6 RBIs, 7 steals.
To your point, Eduardo, Stripling's stride is so much shorter than McGill's. Well over a foot shorter in terms of their extension and where they land on the mound. That was always a thing I had to contend with on the mound is, are you landing in the other guy's hole? Because once you dig out your holes in front of the rubber, and then where you land coming at you, that's very much of a short stride for Stripling, which allows control and a bigger breaking ball from that high release point. That's why we say that that style from Stripling is built more for control and command and mixing his pitches as opposed to a long stride and maximum extension and power like McGill, who's in the 99 percentile in terms of extension, well over 7 feet of extension. Stripling around 6 feet.
Take a look at the pitch through the eyes of the ump on Cam, and Marte laces one in between third and short. He is aboard with 2 down.
How about that? Another 0-2 hit for the New York Mets. Trying to come in. Marte just too quick on that fastball. Now, let's not be. Marte at first base got caught stealing yesterday. He does definitely have the green light.
Francisco Lindor swings at the first one, and this one's going gapping. Yastrzemski's going to give chase. Marte will hit third. He's being waved in by Cora. Crawford has it. Here's the throw home. Not in time. And Lindor delivers. Marte. Mets on the board. 2-1.
Francisco Lindor hitting this ball to left center field. Watch Starling Marte right here. He knows right here, Joey Cora, third base coach, is waving him in. Ball doesn't even get to the wall. This is how fast Marte is. And Francisco Lindor stays at second base, isn't even trying to go 3 because he knows of the speed in front of him. And he also knows he's in scoring position with Pete Alonso up.
Lindor's 18th run batted in leads all shortstops.
Did you guys notice Marte didn't have time to put on his sliding equipment? He carried that mitt around the bases.
Francisco's 9th double.
One thing's for sure, Marte's part of that all-uniform team.
Oh, yeah.
He looks good in a unit.
Fills it out. Yeah, you guys have touched on the 2-strike hits. Stripling's gotten ahead of a whole bunch of guys 0-2.
Oh, that's high. 1-2.
Buster says get that sliding glove in his right hand.
Like a baton.
Ball.
Maybe he was looking for Buster to pass it on to him. And I have to throw this out there because every player that has been able to speak to Buster pregame has driven in a run.
Very good point. 3 for 3 now.
Yeah. It's 11 runs batted in for Buster's crew.
I don't think Buster doesn't know that.
Don't think the players that I'm about to talk to have not been told that.
I have to create his own category. OPS plus plus B. OPS plus B.
We got splash hits. We're going to have Buster RBIs. Again, 0-2, now 2-2. And Alonso, high fly ball. Center fielder calls it, and he's under it, and that's Brent Wisely, and that's the third out. But Lindor, another double. He delivers the first run of the game for the Mets. It'll be 1-2-3, and Brandon Nimmo with a microphone and an earpiece when we come back on Sunday Night Baseball. We're back on Sunday Night Baseball, and the pride of Cheyenne, Wyoming, Brandon Nimmo. And you see him from when he was a little guy growing up to where he is now in center field, patrolling it for the New York Mets, and joins us now with an earpiece and a microphone, a big smile. Thanks very much for doing this.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We really appreciate it. Lamont Wade Jr. will lead things off for the Giants. Started things off on the first pitch, sending one off the wall in right field. So we'll start with Tyler McGill and Lamont Wade in a 2-1 game in the bottom of the third. I think we're going to go back to Cheyenne and some of the things, the obstacles, challenges that you had to deal with to become a baseball player in that area.
I mean, the biggest one is we didn't have high school baseball.
Right.
And, you know, everybody thinks that I was out just swinging an ice fishing pole, and somebody thought, oh, he's got good hands. Maybe he can play baseball. But we played a little more than that. We had 80 games a year, and you know, it probably wasn't like Southern California or Texas, but it was good enough, you know. And we, you know, I had a lot to learn in pro ball, but I had a passion for the game and a will to learn, and that's taken me a long ways.
It sure has. 0-2 now, and the next one. This is before we dive into where we are now. You also were not only ice fishing, or allegedly, you were riding steer and bulls and other things.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's like a rite of passage in my family. When you're around like 7, 8 years old, you got to ride a steer, or at least try to try and persuade you. That might be me. Nope. Didn't quite go far enough.
Smart play. Guillermo had that the whole
baby.
time.
Very nice. Oh boy, great job. One out. Yeah, no, so it's like a rite of passage to try and ride a steer, and it's supposed to keep you from wanting to do rodeo. And, you know, it kind of worked for me because I got bucked off and then the steer came around and stepped on my ankle, and it didn't feel too good. And they got on tape that I didn't want to ride bulls anymore.
That was it.
And they said, all right, that's good enough. We'll make you not do this anymore. So we chose baseball, and I guess it worked out.
You think?
Worked out all right.
You got the big new deal, but you've also done a lot to keep getting better. You know, the Mets invest not only in you and the present, it's for the future. How important was that statement to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was huge. You know, the Cohens, they are so in on winning a World Series, and they have shown that by more than just words, a lot of actions since I've been here, and that was really important to me. You know, later half of my career, I wanted to be a part of an organization that was wanting to win World Series and do it on a consistent basis, and that was really important to me. And then, you know, we really just kind of talked there at the end. It happened very quickly. I hadn't heard from them, and then within 4 hours, we had the deal done. And you know, Alex and Steve have treated me like family, and I just couldn't be happier to be back and trying to win a World Series for them.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you're going to be in that uniform for a while. You won't have to be like Conforto is. You know, you used to have him as a teammate. Now he's on the other side.
Yeah, Conforto. Oh, well, boy. Yeah, he's a great shortstop. That boy Lindor. Yeah, no, Conforto was one of my best friends, honestly, on the team, and I was so sad to see him go, and I wish him nothing but the best when he's not playing us. But
I hear you.
Same with this guy, JD, man. I hung out with him, grew up with him, and great guy, great hitter. I wish him the best, but you know, they just need to go different paths. And you know, I think it's working out for both of them. I hope Mike has a great year this year. I know he's got so much potential that we've all seen. and just a really unfortunate injury. Gosh dang.
Yeah,
but he can be a star in the game. There's no question.
Speaking of stars, here's a question from a fan at home. If they were making a movie about your life, who would you want to play you?
Oh man. How about Kevin Costner? He always plays in good baseball movies. So
there you go.
Let's go with Kevin Costner. Even though I think he might be over that, but I'd like to see it happen.
You watch Yellowstone? You a Yellowstone fan?
I do. Like everyone else in the country, they're making all the land in Wyoming super expensive. Now everybody's seeing what Wyoming's like, and they're like, oh, let's move out there, see what we got.
I think you can afford it, buddy.
It's all right. Yeah. You know me. I come from the son of an accountant, so he's still watching everything and making sure I'm not doing anything too stupid.
Now here's Jock Peterson now with the 1-1 count after Davis got hit by a pitch. Brandon Nimmo out there in center field talking with us on Sunday Night Baseball.
Laying off that nice curve.
Hey, Brandon, you made a huge adjustment. You moved deeper to play that position last year.
Yeah.
How big was it for you, especially yesterday, watching you make a play off the wall?
Yeah, no, it's been huge. Kind of just played to my strength a little bit better of going in on balls and allowing me to get a little bit better read on going back on them. Hopefully we'll get this out here. And then that allowed me to be a better center fielder because I would get better reads on the ball. So it's made a huge adjustment for me, and hopefully it'll lead to a Gold Glove someday.
Well, you seem to be enjoying yourself, Brandon, in a lot of ways.
Yes, very much so, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks so much for doing it. That's Brandon Nimmo, the Mets center fielder.
Smile, will you? Smile.
Yeah.
Can't take that smile off that face. Good game here on Sunday night in San Francisco. Stream every out-of-market MLB game live or on demand, new and included for 2023. Stream all minor league baseball blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. We're slicing something there that looked really good. I don't know if you saw that.
Put it on some sourdough and get it on up here. Let's go.
Food at ballparks has become such a thing. It was popcorn, hot dog. Like it was very general and generic, and it has just gone full on, especially out here. I mean, we were treated to food last year. Remember that?
This ballpark is special when it comes to that. Cha-Cha's somewhere out there in left field.
One ball, two strikes. McNeil, Vogelbach, Beatty in a 2-1 game in the top of the fourth. Stripling's probably got about 75 pitches in him. Then McNeil reaches out. Tough play. Nice play. Estrada will not get him. McNeil is 2 for 2 today. Estrada did everything he could, but McNeil beat it out.
I think he turned the wrong way. If he would have allowed the momentum to actually go all the way and do a 360, instead he wanted to turn to his left after he made this play. If he turns around, does a 360 right there,
oh yeah,
he has a chance. Instead, trying to keep his balance. Jeff McNeil beating out another infield base hit. Had one yesterday, a blooper today over third base, and now that base hit.
And here's Vogelbach. He singled his first time up, and that knuckle curve stays high. Tough offseason for the Giants. We were here last year, and they were talking about superstars, and this is a game of big names, and they went after Correa and didn't get him. They went after Judge, and it turned out he ended up, of course, in New York. And Eduardo's made the point about this San Francisco team. You look around, and in spite of the investments they made, who's the jersey that you're wearing? Whose name do you want on the back of that jersey?
And right now, as a fan, do you commit to anyone right now? You do have Crawford, who's been here for a long time. Haniger has yet to play, and he's from this area. But the fans have yet to be able to appreciate what he can do.
Well, they had a Hall of Famer retire last year in Buster Posey. So.
Yep.
That's going to leave a hole. That's going to leave a hole.
Seen a lot of Posey jerseys around too. But they were all in on Judge.
3 balls, 1 strike. Vogelbach
Elbow forward.
holds up, which he does as well as anybody. The lowest swing rate in baseball. 2 men aboard.
There are still a few good ideas left in the world. Ours was to make our own tequila. Grab a glass, amigo. Our casa is your casa.
You know, we heard Gabe Kapler talk about Stripling needing count leverage.
Yep.
That just means getting ahead in the count. Got ahead of McNeil, but McNeil's speed beat that throw out at first. That last at bat, he fell behind 2-0.
First and second.
No inside.
And now behind 1-0 to Brett Beatty. It'll be Beatty, Alvarez, and then Guillorme.
The pitchers who are control type pitchers, they really need that count leverage. When they fall behind, then they got to go into trick 'em mode. You know, 2-0 changeups. They really have to paint a pitch.
Nope.
They don't have the power to get back in the count. So again here, 2-0.
Yeah, dangerous spot now for Stripling.
How about that? They already have Rogers in the pen, already in line for Guillorme if needed.
2-1. Big pitch for Stripling. Former Texas A&M star who went there on an academic scholarship, business finance. He walked on the program, ended up winning like 14 games his first year. Swing and a miss.
This is where Beatty's been really good at the minor league level, and he's shown flashes of it in spring training and recently here. 2 strikes, likes to go the other way, has that fluid swing that he can do so.
Got Crawford way up the middle. He does go the other way. Great call, Eduardo. A little blooper, and the bases are loaded.
Allowing the ball to get late, trusting his hands, fighting it off, broken bat, base hit.
4th 2-strike hit for the Mets. And in the second inning, very similar, Francisco Alvarez came up. He ended up hitting to a 6-4-3 double play his first time up.
You can see Stripling just not giving in and off speed. Even though it was hit fairly hard, it was right at him. Hit hard enough for a perfect double play.
Love the conversation that Luis Guillorme is having with him. Such a great presence, good baseball knowledge and IQ. Buck Showalter loves Guillorme. He's like another coach on the team, and having him hit behind Alvarez, calming him down, could definitely help in this at-bat.
Now, for all the talk with the Mets and all the spending on free agency and their payroll, some young players have some talent.
We just saw Beatty. Here's Alvarez, first pitch. Down and away, called a strike by Roberto Ortiz, and the catcher looks back at him.
We're in the top of the 4th inning. Giants are up 2, yet the infield is playing halfway. Almost midway, you could say. Really interesting call right here by the Giants. Not a lot of teams would do this. Most of the teams would play maybe the corners where they are right now, but the middle infielder's back, not playing for the big inning, especially with no speed at second base.
And there is a ton of room between the center fielder Wisely and Conforto in right. Alvarez looks at another one, touches his helmet, a little frustrated. That ball called a strike on the bottom of the zone, now 1-2. Think about McNeil's hit. A little infield hit, and then Beatty a little blooper. Bases loaded, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Stripling with a huge strikeout of Francisco Alvarez. Luis Guillorme is coming up. Gabe Kapler's going to the mound.
Well, everything's got a purpose. When your base is loaded, nobody out, you're not going to give in. You're a veteran pitcher. Everything's going to be at the bottom of the zone, looking for the strikeout or a ground ball. And certainly you get the changeup down and in. Alvarez reads fastball, swings out over the top of it.
67 pitches. Stripling will leave. He'll leave with the bases loaded. Giants up 2-1. Number 9 hitter Guillorme due up for the Mets, but with a pitching change, we'll see if he bats. We're back. We got action. Mark Canha has grabbed a bat, so it looks like Guillorme's not going to bat against the lefty Taylor Rogers, who will be making his 10th appearance for the Giants already this season. And you see what Rogers' numbers are. Alvarez strikes out. Of course, he's getting more playing time, and Buck has been very complimentary of Alvarez, especially as a catcher, with Omar Narvaez out for 8 to 9 weeks, who is making slow but steady progress. He returns from will return from a left calf strain. So here's Canha with the bases loaded. Rogers, one down, first pitch. Strike one.
Buster, was Canha ready in the dugout from your angle?
So when they made the pitching change, Canha grabbed his bat and ran down into the area behind the dugout where they have the cage.
What was that foul?
So there was a bit of a scramble for him to then return back to the dugout, have a conversation with the coach before going to the on-deck circle.
With Guillorme out, you assume that Canha goes into play left and McNeil comes into play second. Rogers 0-2.
Outside.
It does feel like the Mets have more versatility on their roster this year, and giving Buck Showalter these types of options. And the fact that McNeil can play anywhere certainly helps the equation.
And he had options. He could have easily have said, well, Escobar can come in for Guillorme, who has the other day started the game against the lefty, went 2 for 5 in that game, but he decides to go with Canha right here.
Canha, right field towards the line. Over there is Conforto. He dropped the ball. That's going to bring McNeil in. And everyone will advance. An error on Michael Conforto. And it's 2-2, and there's still one out, and they are still loaded.
Almost the same thing that Stripling did on that grounder that Beatty had hit. Watch his eyes here. About to catch the baseball, looking up. No, he looks it straight into it. That's just a clank right there.
And now Nimmo. And the infield is in, and that first pitch is in there for a strike.
Guys, I do think the wind has been a challenge for Conforto the last 2 days. He had a fly ball, which he thought was kind of a can of corn yesterday, and it carried over his head. That one, the wind took the ball into the right field corner.
Outside.
So now Vogelbach is at third base, Beatty is at second base, and Canha's at first.
And another issue that Conforto has had is with his calves. And when you have issues with your calves, you're not running on your toes, you're running more on your heels. And when you run on your heels, the ball seems to bounce in the air. That's the perception that it gives you as an outfielder.
Bobblehead style?
Bobblehead style, absolutely.
Well, defense was a problem last year. Conforto's usually a reliable outfielder, but it's a problem again this year. And Nimmo sends one to center field. Wisely's there. Vogelbach will tag, and the throw will come in to third base. And the Mets have gone on top.
Fundamental baseball. Canha did it with 2 strikes, putting the ball in play in the air to at least drive in one if it would have been a sac fly. And this one right here would have ended the inning instead. The inning gets extended because of the error. It's deep enough, and I think Joey Cora wanted to run right there for Vogie. He ends up scoring easily.
And now Rogers will deal with Starling Marte.
Foul ball right here.
And Nimmo just looks so confident in the batter's box nowadays.
It's coming easy to him. And his dad, built him a barn out there in Wyoming where they didn't have baseball. He talked about playing 80 games, but he was driving hours upon hours to play in a travel team. But his dad built him a big barn that allowed him to get in, and he and his teammates from that travel team to swing a bat during the wintertime. Marte swings and misses.
Pretty cool investment right there.
Sure paid off. So the Mets have 2 in the inning, aided by that error by the former Met Conforto in right. Rogers ahead of Marte, 0-2.
Yes.
And that will do it. Marte strikes out. They will leave 2 on. Conforto did just about everything right. He watched this ball all the way to the glove. And then he watched it off the end of the glove. Mets lead it 3-2 here in San Francisco on Sunday night.
So after the second inning, my hand, it was a little clumpy from the rosin and sweat. That it was clumpy, and Phil told me to wash it off, so I washed it off. I washed it with alcohol and rosin, and when I went back out there, the alcohol for a little bit there can be sticky in rosin. That can happen. So he was like, "That's too sticky. You need to go back on there, wash it off again, and reapply the rosin." Pitched a third. And knew I was going to get checked in the fourth. So I'd have to be an absolute idiot to try to do anything when I'm coming back out for the fourth. I washed my hand with alcohol in front of the official. I then apply rosin, and then I grab sweat. When I then go back out there, and Phil Cuzzi says that my hand's too sticky. I don't get it. Yes, when you use sweat and rosin, your hand is sticky, but I don't get how I get ejected when I'm in front of MLB officials doing exactly what you want and being deemed my hand's too sticky when I'm using legal substance. I do not understand that.
A huge story. That's Max Scherzer's explanation of his ejection, subsequent 10-game suspension. He was going to fight it, and the Mets sort of encouraged him not to. He was going to miss a start against the Nationals. Long story short, there were a lot of things that he said that we need the help of a guy like Coney here to explain. As we begin this half inning with Canha in left field, McNeil has now gone to second base. All right, so break it down for us. He described his fingers as a little clumpy. What does that mean?
a little clumpy. Yes, it's a little bit incriminating, is what that is. Yeah, the problem is that obviously he's right that if you go and try to wash your hand off, if you get rosin built up on your fingers, they do turn discolored a little bit, so that can create sort of the appearance of being a little clumpy. I think that's what he's talking about. So in order to go wash them off, rather than use water, which can make your fingers a little soft, you use alcohol, and alcohol does activate rosin. It does initially make it stickier.
Yastrzemski reaches out on a high pitch, and he sends one into left, and leadoff man is aboard in the bottom of the fourth. Canha's throw is over the head of everybody, but it's backed up by Alonso.
Well, it's true. I mean, the rock rosin certainly in cooler weather is much more sticky, and that when you get sweat mixed in with the rosin and you continually use it, it does kind of build up on your fingertips, and your fingertips can turn sort of a dark brown or blackish color. And I think that's what he was talking about. His fingers felt clumpy and sticky, and that's when he was asked to go wash it off.
Thairo Estrada bat. So the alcohol cleaning of the rosin, if he's told go clean using alcohol, which seems to make it stickier, is generally what you would do. Use alcohol.
I would use alcohol to clean off the discoloration part, the clumpy part that he was referring to.
At the same time, on a ground ball to Lindor, he'll get one and not in time to get Estrada. So you're using alcohol to clean this up, but it's making your hand stickier at the same time, is it not?
It is. It's getting rid of the discoloration and some of the rosin on the top layer, but
activating the rosin.
Activating what's left, and it can be really sticky with the initially when you first wash your hand with alcohol. Initially, it can really activate what the remaining rosin is on your fingertips, especially if you go right back and apply more rosin right on top of the alcohol.
So it feels like he was attempting to push the envelope as far as it can be pushed by using all legal substances according to baseball?
Well, we did a little, experiment before the game, and I had the rosin bag right there. That's the rock rosin. You go on it. I had not too much sweat to work with, but even with just the rock rosin, it got sticky. And then I went to the alcohol to show you, okay, let me clean it off. I had a little discoloration from the rosin. That's right after the alcohol, and see the alcohol sort of activates
what's left of the rosin?
What's left of the rosin, absolutely. And I went back to the rosin bag after the alcohol as well, and that's what I got right there. The ball sticky to my fingers. And that's after cleaning with alcohol.
And with no sweat.
With no sweat, no.
That's
in the booth. That's not on. That's not even in the dugout or on the mound.
No.
So why not soap and water?
Well, if you go and try to use soap and water in order to clean off all of the clumpiness and all of the rosin that's built up, you're going to get soft fingers, almost prune fingers from the water itself. So the best way you can clean your fingers and still remain dry is with alcohol.
The reaction of Buck Showalter through the entire Max Scherzer, Phil Cuzzi conversation, a lot of people picked up on it. Meaning he wasn't yelling and screaming. Why do you think that was?
Well, that's Max. You know, Max is how.
But why was Buck's reaction what appeared to be kind of muted? Like, I'm just an observer here.
Buck's always a thinker. He's always thinking, now, wait a minute. First it looked like he asked Max, what are you using? And Max said, no, it's just rosin. Really, it's just rosin. I swear on my kids. And Buck's thinking the way he thinks. Wait a minute, do I have other pitchers using stuff? If I make too big of a deal out of this, is it going to be repercussions, to other guys getting checked? Buck Showalter tells a famous story when he's manager of the Yankees, when George Steinbrenner called down and was complaining about opposing pitcher cheating, and Buck said, well, my guys are doing the same thing. I can't check them. You have to understand, that Buck thinks that way. That he's a couple steps ahead, wondering what, if I do this and what's going to happen, what are the consequences?
Yastrzemski aboard 1-2 to Crawford, and that one is into center field. That's going to get down. Yastrzemski with a good read, and he will head to third base.
And again, with 2 strikes in this inning, first we saw Yastrzemski, who led off the inning, get a base hit. We're seeing it right there, another left-handed hitter, this time the veteran Brandon Crawford, 1-2 count, staying up the middle, protecting the zone with the shadows.
All this sticky stuff, all the rosin, alcohol mixed with rosin, suntan lotion mixed with rosin, sweat. It cries out for a uniform baseball and a uniform substance that's agreed upon by the Players Association and Major League Baseball.
This ball is into right field, and that's going to plate the tying run. Crawford goes to third. Clutch hit by Blake Sabol as they're getting to McGill this inning. It's 3-3 as Estrada touches home.
Seen the curveball, the changeup, and now the heater, another changeup. Staying in. Pitch was designed to be down and away. Sabol capitalizing and jumping all over it.
So as there's a meeting on the mound, just a couple of follow-up questions. It feels like we're getting into this gray area of umpires not only saying it's sticky, but now it's too sticky. I think Domingo Germán will then go wash some of that off, as opposed to it's too much. You're done. We're throwing you out of the game.
You're trying to regulate a substance that's legal, and Max Scherzer was exactly right about this. Hey, wait a minute. This is rosin. It's sticky. You're providing it for us. And what the umpires are trying to do is regulate the usage of something that's already legal. So, do you have your own rosin bag in the dugout? No. You have to use the one that we give you on the mound. Are you using something else in the clubhouse before you go to the mound? No, you have to use the rosin bag that's on the mound, and that's a hard thing to regulate.
Brett Wisely, he squares.
This right here is such a good play with runners at first and third. You have a young player at the plate. One out. You can do the safety squeeze. You can force the infield to make a decision. And the late Don Zimmer used to say this is a play that is so difficult to defend if it's executed properly.
Wisely, the 9-hole hitter, will swing this time, and right by him at 95 from Megill.
I think as a spin rate for Max Scherzer was the same as it was opening day to second start, third start to the one in LA.
1-1. Inside, 2-1. So what's the solution here? I mean, the uniform rosin bag makes sense. The alcohol seems to be a unique, and I guess y'all wash off with it, but it makes it stickier, even though it gets rid of the clumpiness or the discoloration. So you're helping the pitcher out by having them clean it with alcohol. We keep hearing about the baseball that's used in Japan, which is a uniform baseball that appears to be stickier than the Major League Baseball.
It's a pre-treated leather beforehand, so it comes out of the box ready, sort of the tackiness to it already.
2-2. What would you do?
I think that's the direction we're going, is can you create a baseball? And I think they have prototypes already out there. You know, through Rawlings has it, and of course in Japanese professional baseball, they have their own version of an already tacky baseball that you don't have to rub up with mud. Comes out of the box ready to go. I think that's probably the direction we need to go. At least experiment with it.
And yesterday I had a conversation with Kodai Senga, the right-handed pitcher for the Mets, and I asked him, I said, so you've been out there, what's the difference now in regular season? He said, this baseball here feels like a rock. And when in Japan, you could really just get a good feel for it. It seemed softer, easier to grip. Had the seams were just a little bit more elevated.
3-2 pitch. Wisely stays alive, fouls it off.
There's no doubt that Major League Baseball and the people who make the decisions within the central office are worried about the strikeout rates being so high. All of these new rules are designed to get more action in the game. Put the ball in play, more base running, less time between action on the field. And certainly strikeouts are a big part of that, and sticky stuff and strikeouts go hand in hand over the last 5 years.
3-2 on the ground. McNeil will go to Lindor. No throw to first, and Crawford touches home. Giants go on top.
Don't think Lindor had a chance if he would have gripped it right to be able to throw him out at first base, but you get the out. Nice turn by McNeil, who started the game in left field. On the transfer, was not able to grip it appropriately.
Would have taken a nice throw. He was in position to make one if he comes up clean.
Lamont Wade, first pitch swings and sends this to the seats down the third base line. So Scherzer gets fined. He gets the suspension. Feels like he was trying to just to see how far you can push it using all of what is allowed by Major League Baseball. And making the case like, well, I'm just doing what I'm told to be doing, but you're doing it to an excess. I mean, you clearly seem to be pushing that.
You have 60 judges in Major League Baseball is the way I look at it. You have 4 umpires per game, and with 15 games per night, each one's going to see the rules a little bit differently.
That ball is thrown away. Alonso had no chance to get it. Wisely looks at his third base coach and stops at second base.
I think one of the solutions would be if you have the average spin rate on a fastball on a breaking pitch of that pitcher, maybe they can post that and then see during the game if that goes up. And if it does go up considerably, 200 to 300 revolutions per minute, then that is something that you can look at and you can say, okay, that's a red flag.
I mean, Coney, the strikeout rates are going to keep going up because all the equipment, all the analytics, all the advancements that are made beyond things that make your fingers stickier lead to more strikeouts.
It's part of it, the style of the game as well. That's certainly part of it.
But I will say that hitters are catching up slowly. We've seen Driveline go out there and work more on the swing path of young hitters, the plane to be able to match up to the pitchers. as well.
2 balls, 1 strike. That's inside 3-1.
You know, where all this comes from is that Major League Baseball is following, like Eduardo said, the spin rates. And if there's significant jumps across the board, inning to inning, game to game, start to start. And they have seen some of that fluctuation over the last year or year and a half, and that sort of has led them to checking about rosin now all of a sudden. We're going to regulate a legal substance, and this is new area. This is new territory.
Race center field, Nimmo coming, and he will get there. Good read by Brandon Nimmo in center field. As he told us, those bright white shoes, they stand out. They're size 13, and they make him feel like he's the fastest guy on the planet.
Back here in San Francisco, talking with Mets manager Buck Showalter. Buck, where do we stand with McGill moving forward in this game?
Well, he's competed for 4 innings. We'll probably not going to broadcast it to the other side. So they're listening to every word you're saying. I'm not paranoid. I'm alert, Buster.
Okay. We saw you make a pinch hit decision with Mark Canha on the last inning. What was you thinking in that moment this early in the game?
I just don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get like that. It was a really good matchup for us. And as this game progresses, because of the 4 o'clock start, it gets harder and harder to see. But we all know why we're playing at 4 o'clock.
Buck, thanks. Back to you.
Buck's at the end of a very long road trip. The night game, or at least in this case, the late afternoon game for him means we could have an overnight flight.
One of these days, that man right there is going to write a book, and he's going to let it all out. And I'm here for it.
0-2, Lindor gone. Taylor Rogers replaced by Tyler Rogers, the submarining righty, who has not allowed a run in his last 26 innings back to September of last year. And he strikes out Lindor to start the 5th.
It's visually such a pleasing delivery. I mean, as low as you can get without hitting your hand on the ground. Talk about an upshoot. Is there such thing as a rising slider? That's visually, it might as well be.
I mean, this is fast pitch softball all over, right? There have been a number of really good hitters who have said against a hard-throwing rise ball from a softball pitcher, they have no chance.
You know, the old school theory was in order to throw 4-seamers, you had to get on top of it, throw over the top. Now we've learned through analytics that you can actually get under the ball and make it kind of ride, and induce vertical break to it.
Well, here's Conforto again, right near the line, and holds on to this one.
When you measure Rogers' release point, it's about 1.2 feet off the ground. We see Conforto this time. Still kind of drifting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every outfielder out there is struggling.
See where he caught it, though? I mean, he is very uncertain right now with anything hit his way.
McNeil first pitch. Here comes Yastrzemski. He's there, and 6 pitches for Taylor Rogers' brother, Tyler. Very impressive. You can suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your favorite team at MLBshop.com. Look at the big 2,000 over Lucille. Firing some t-shirts into the crowd here. Lucille has been a staple at Giants games for 2,000 now appearances. Swing and a miss. New pitcher for the New York Mets is Jeff Brigham. Just a couple of innings, 3 games. And that one rides a little high at 90 miles an hour. Michael Conforto, first guy he faces.
I'd like to nominate "I'm not paranoid, I'm just alert" as one of the lines of the year. If we keep track.
From Buck?
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike. The other part of that conversation which we were having is you know, the umpire, that was certainly pointed out on social media and elsewhere. Phil Cuzzi has been involved in the ejections, sort of a consistent thread, maybe to Eduardo's point. you get so many different judges, and while it feels like there should be a uniformity on what they're judging, they all see things maybe a little bit differently.
A little bit differently. I mean, if you look at it, and I know there's been a lot of umpire changes in the last year or two, but there's been one common denominator in it. And look, players, and this is the reality, pitchers know who's going to be behind the plate. Players know who the umpire is, even though, yes, there is a strike zone. They know if they have a big strike zone, a small strike zone, if they like the high pitch or low pitch. Phil Cousins has been right in the middle of everything. And players are going to have to be aware that what they do is going to be monitored at a different level than other umpires are. It's perception.
We got a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Giants on top 4-3, bottom 5. Brigham's next one. Boy, that's a good pitch. His sweeper has looked very good the last 2.
He does. He throws it often. He throws it really well. He seems to have pretty good command of it.
All right, you see the shadows right here. And this is, and I played at this time before in this stadium, and this is right now probably the toughest to be able to see. You think sometimes it's when the shadows are in between. No, it's actually because it's so bright in the background that it is real difficult to pick up spin.
He struck out 12 during the Grapefruit League in just over 8 2/3 innings. Came back up from AAA Syracuse on April 19th. Look at you. I'm looking at you with a big smile on your face.
Thinking about conspiracy theories now here. Let's see, if you want to target one pitcher, who would you want to target to make a point? Yeah, that'd be Max Scherzer.
Okay, I have to ask because everyone in the living room is asking why.
Well, I think, you know, if you're up against it, if you're Major League Baseball and you want to make a statement and you're up against it and you get a high-profile case, that you're trying to scare people straight. I'm not saying this is the case, or this is what leads to conspiracy theories, but certainly if you're going to crack down on a high-profile pitcher like Max Scherzer, then other people are going to take notice. And that it's sort of like a state trooper on the side of the road, you know, with a radar gun. You see it, people hear about it, everybody else starts to slow down. And that might be their best defense in terms of setting a precedent and scaring people straight, because it's hard to regulate, as Max said. You know, rosin's a legal substance, and how do you know if you're using too much? When it gets clumpy?
Inside of Peterson after a strikeout of Davis.
So are you saying this is like Waze right now?
Exactly like Waze.
You're going to Pittsburgh. Yes. Guess who's going to be behind the plate?
Yes. The old first. Like the old ham radio operator, you know? Breaker.
1-9. We got ourselves a convoy.
Got a Smoky.
Which goes to the point that I've been hearing from so many people in baseball this week. Find a uniformity in a baseball that everybody can use.
Bingo.
So let's just take it to the next level. We find a baseball that everybody can use. Do you eliminate rosin bags, alcohol, whatever else a pitcher would use? Because the other argument, the hitter will always say, let him use whatever he needs so that I don't get hit in the head with a fastball at 100 because he didn't have a grip on the baseball.
Well, certainly the most obvious point to look at is the baseball itself. And those are where most of the complaints come from. How the baseballs feel. We've heard over the last 5 years about the seams in the baseball. Pitchers complaining about the seams, how far the ball goes. There's been different studies done, and there's different variances within the specs of the baseball itself. Some baseballs fly, some die. So there's a lot of issues within the player's rank. They talk about the baseball itself, and the answer probably lies with that.
Brigham's 1-2. Look out.
How did he pull that where he did? That ball had to be way inside for Jock Peterson to be able to do that and still barrel it foul.
Scary too. That cutter, see it coming in, and He just clears him out. Get off of me. It's scary coming in hot into the stands over the netting.
6 feet, 195. Jeff Brigham struck out Conforto Davis and not Peterson, but this one is playable on the infield. Wind has it. Tough play, but it is caught by Brett Beatty at third base. And he and Lindor have a laugh about that. Vogelbach, Beatty, Alvarez when we come back. Back on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. It's presented by Casamigos Tequila, brought to you by those who drink it. It's a 4-3 ball game. Each team's made some errors, 2 for the Giants, 1 for the Mets. Starting pitchers are both out of the game, and the Submariner was awfully impressive in his last half inning of work. We'll get Vogelbach to start.
Hi.
Great Submariners of all time. Colby, was he the best?
Colby Dan Quisenberry.
Quisenberry was terrific. Right, Kansas City Royal, and you can see that thing. Boy, we have such a good angle right behind home plate. That started out, if it stayed straight, it would have hit a right-handed hitter in the hip. And you could see it break from the middle of that batter's box to the corner of the plate, and Vogelbach had a swing at it.
It's just remarkable. We mentioned before, at the top of the scale, is Justin Verlander releases the ball 7 feet off the ground. That's 1.2 feet off the ground with his release ball.
Vogelbach punched out. There's no answer right now for Tyler Rogers.
You have the uncomfortable angle of where he's coming from, the ability that he has to get strike one. He's done it on all 4 hitters that he's faced. And then most importantly, from the hitter standpoint, you're not only dealing with that nastiness, but also the nasty shades. Shadows.
10 pitches and all strikes. The other part of it that's just so unique is his brother's a left-handed pitcher. He's a righty. One throws, you know, traditionally he's a Submariner. The brother, I don't want to be like my brother. I'm going to do something different.
Yeah, I'd be jealous because my brother's left-handed, and that's an advantage.
There you go. 11 for 11 as far as pitches and strikes.
Polar opposites right here.
Right?
Could draw a diagonal line on release points from both of them.
Called strike 3. Rogers, 12 pitches, 12 strikes, 3 strikeouts.
Okay, this happens. I'm coming up next. I'm swinging somewhere in the zone. My chances are better than anything because his ability to pitch down low, but at the same time, pitch up in the zone is what keeping these hitters off balance.
It's like a boogie board slider, right? Like he caught a wave, just kind of rode the wave up, almost an upshoot style.
Francisco Alvarez. This one to left, fairly deep. Yastrzemski goes back to the wall, turns, gone! Francisco Alvarez, first extra base hit for a Met catcher, and a home run for Alvarez.
Had already left 5 men on base with opportunities. This one out of the zone. The only pitch that was out of the zone is the pitch that cost Rogers. He went up and he got it.
First home run of the year for the catcher, and did he chase that baseball as it kept rising?
That was impressive.
It really was.
Good chance he played wiffle ball as a kid. There's no doubt about it.
Exactly.
We talked about his talent, one of the top prospects in all of baseball for the last couple of years. Eventually it's going to show up, and it just did.
And that ability to track that baseball, you contrast that with the first swing that Canha just put on that. Incredible.
Now that officially is the first ball that he's thrown. Right there.
Yeah. 14 strikes in 15 pitches, but one of them left to tie it up at 4, and this one is beaten into the ground. Tough play, real tough, no play. Infield hit for Mark Canha.
You elevate this pitch. Francisco Alvarez leaving the hands up in the zone. The launch angle at 32 degrees. Exit velocity just enough. Not a lead at all, but a home run in 11 out of 30 ballparks.
Outside.
Ball 1 to Brandon Nimmo. Francisco Alvarez. Buck Showalter would joke he's got muscles on his toes. That's how strong Alvarez is. His first knots it at 4. Nimmo swings and misses.
Miles per hour. I mean, that's staying back, and now anything thrown in the mid 80s is going to look like 98.
Do we get a grunt?
We got a grunt, and
wow.
I'm yearning for 1992. My strike zone is back.
He ends up striking out 3, but he couldn't get one past Francisco Alvarez. The up-and-coming superstar catcher for the Mets knots it up at 4. Welcome back, everyone. Next Sunday night, our matchup, it's a World Series rematch. The Phillies are in Houston. They'll take on the Stros. We'll have the call on ESPN. Mike O'Kay, Alex Rodriguez with K-Rod on ESPN2. You can find it on ESPN Deportes and listen to it on ESPN Radio. We'll start at 6 Eastern with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. Brigham back, first pitch in there for a strike. It's a cutter at 89. His sweeper has been awfully impressive. It's a 4-4 game, bottom 6. Mets trying to wrap up this 10-game road trip with their 8th win against just 2 losses. This one is driven towards right, towards the line, and a nice running catch is made out there by Starling Marte, retiring Yastrzemski.
We made our own tequila, so we'd always have a reason to get together, so you'd always have a reason to get together. Grab a glass, amigo. Our casa is your casa.
Are we going to come up with something like that would allow us to then sell it for billions? I mean, what do we do that would allow us to do what those guys did?
Find a baseball.
Find a baseball that has stick.
I want the wrapper that's going to go around the baseball. I'll supply that. Because it has to come in order to keep that stickiness. All the Japanese baseballs come with an aluminum foil around it.
I think I washed my fingers off with Casamigos. What do you think?
That would be a key to success right there.
The problem is the baseball wouldn't leave your fingers. It would be stuck. Thairo Estrada's gone deep tonight.
No.
You know, it was interesting when you had that ball suspended from your fingers, and I said to myself, well, if you throw it, don't you ever worry that it's so sticky that you could, to get a blister, you could rip some skin off?
That's a great point. That's what we were worried about 20 years ago. Too much pine tar. I played with a guy, Al Leiter, colleague of all of ours, that had blister problems and talked about that. We all were more worried about that. We weren't able to measure spin rate, obviously, 20 years ago, so we didn't know the degree of which it impacted movement and induced vertical break, or even horizontal or horizontal sweeping type sliders if you had extra grip like that.
Estrada gone instead. 95 left the sweeper in the bag and threw a fastball, a 4-seamer by him.
But you're right, Carl. It's a great point. We were worried about blisters. We'll see right there the 4-seam spin up and out of the zone and right on by.
Brigham loved that one too. The reaction right after.
Estrada, good fastball hitter too.
And now Crawford. Jeff Brigham is starting to pump some seeds in there as he picks up another strike. He's got 3 strikeouts since he came in the 5th.
The maximum effort guy, right?
Yes.
The way he fires off that mound.
Crawford, Alvarez. 4th row. Yeah, I would imagine, Coney, back then, whether it was Leiter or you or any other pitcher, you know, you start to see the, like, intuitively, you know that it's spinning a little more, it's moving a little more, and then you kind of, maybe I'll add a little more, Roz. Ooh, it's spinning a little more, and then you maybe get to a place where I just ripped some skin off.
Yes.
I got to back it down.
That was a risk I wasn't willing to take.
Is that right?
But if I had the benefit of knowing, you know, what it does to spin rates, I probably would have pushed it a little further.
Right. They didn't have Casamigos back then either.
No.
See Brigham looking at his fingers as well after he threw that pitch. Not exactly an ideal fielding position after he throws the baseball.
No, he's worried about the quality of the pitch. Let Francisco Lindor handle the rest behind him.
2-2. Crawford, a golf shot that he pulls foul. That home run yesterday broke an 0 for 14 skid for Crawford. Longest tenured Giant in the last year of a 2-year, $32 million contract.
A nice catch right there by that young kid. That's why you bring the glove to the ballpark. Nicely done. I think he saved the young lady right behind him.
Had a few good catches, similar sections too. Right over the top of the net, you know you might get one. On a 2-2.
No.
3-2.
In the history of the San Francisco Giants, Brandon Crawford most likely is the best shortstop in the history of this organization.
Swing and a miss, filthy pitch, and look at Brigham bounce off the mound as he picks up another strikeout, his 4th.
Loves Dua Lipa. She levitates, he elevates that fastball, and it's worked for him really well.
Called twirling a gym.
All right, Stanley Cup playoffs continue tomorrow night. ESPN on the app. Couple of game 4s. Devils and Rangers at 7 Eastern. The Blue Shirts lead that series 2-1. The Jets host the Golden Knights. Vegas up 2-1 as the road to the Cup rolls on. Earlier today, the Hurricanes beat the Islanders 5-2. Carolina leads their series 3-1. And Matthew Ravitch very happy. The Bruins a winner over the Panthers 6-2 today. The Bruins lead their series 3-1. The Stars and Wild currently playing as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. So do we with John Brebbia now on the mound for the San Francisco Giants and Marte at the plate. Brebbia's 2nd appearance since last Saturday. And a jam shot Marte that's going to go foul by about 15 feet.
Keep this man off the bases is what Gabe Kapler needs Brebbia to do. Never want to get the leadoff hitter on, but especially Marte, who has elite speed, with Lindor looking to hit on deck.
Alonso to follow. 1-2, rolls it over. Good hop. Marte retired. The Dua Lipa reference landed, Eduardo.
It lands.
Francisco Lindor with a double earlier in the game. And that plated Marte. That was to left center field for Lindor. Lindor, he's spreading it around. His 2023 hits. We'll go back to that as he looks at strike one, but all his hits this year, literally line to line.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you are that switch hitter and you can be really difficult to pitch to. He had to get it started early this year in Orlando. where he lives, because of the World Baseball Classic, he knew that needed to perform at a high level there.
The 3 home runs, three of the four homers the other way to left. But as you said, a switch hitter, and having one of his better offensive starts to a season. That one is bounced from Brebbia.
And where I think he has really taken off is on the defensive standpoint. What's helped him, like a lot of elite shortstops, is that they do not have to now go to the second base side. They can focus on their side and use their athleticism. And he's led this infield. Got no errors so far for him or McNeil up the middle, and that is huge.
Good pitch. Slider gets Lindor, and there are 2 down. And here comes Alonso. Ground ball, the shortstop flew out to center, flew out to right. Scott Alexander, the lefty, warms in the bullpen as Brebbia throws hard, 97, but out of the zone.
Do you let him beat you here? I mean, you have McNeil. I know he's a elite hitter as it is, but one swing could just put another run on the board. Consistently. 10 home runs on the season, Coney.
Yeah, you know, and to your point, the count dictates my strategy here. Now falling down 2-0, I'm not giving in. Brebbia's got a good slider. We saw him strike out Lindor with it. Case in point, right there, he did not give in. So yes, now that you're down 3-0, you just cannot let this guy beat you. And you know, Pete Alonso's very aggressive. He's turned loose right here if he sees something he likes.
5th all-time Mets career home run list. 3-1. 156 careers, which is 5th in team history, and 90 have come on the road. Fouls one off. Wow. Which is the 5th highest in Mets history.
Slider sitting right there around 3-1. Yeah. He let the heater go 3-0.
He slipped on that one. I wonder if just stayed up a little bit more.
Got him. Good pitch again. Brebbia, Alonso gone, and John Brebbia gets the side in order, including strikeouts of Lindor and Alonso. Bottom 7 in San Francisco of a 4-4 game.
We didn't have high school baseball, and you know, everybody thinks that I was out just swinging an ice fishing pole, and somebody thought, oh, he's got good hands. Maybe he can play baseball. Yeah, so it's like a rite of passage in my family that when you're around like 7, 8 years old, you got to ride a steer, or at least try to. You know me, I come from the son of an accountant, so he's still watching everything and making sure I'm not doing anything too stupid.
Brandon Nimmo, the sound that we got from him earlier when he was wearing the microphone on the earpiece, showed a terrific personality and talked about his best friend on the team who's now with the Giants, Conforto, and how close they were, and you can see he's an easy guy to like. Raley on the mound now, the lefty, who has been outstanding for the New York Mets, has not allowed a run over his last 8 games, and the former Met Wilmer Flores. He bats for the Giants. 0-1. He's had terrific success against righties, says Raley. Righties have hit just 118. They are 2 for 17. 8th best among left-handed relief pitchers in the majors. And Darren Ruff is on deck. That pitch bends and appeared to be within the K zone, but called the ball.
Raley wanted it too. He posed right after the pitch was delivered.
Well, that one is delivered, and that is a swing and a miss, and Flores is gone. Here's Darren Ruff, the bane of many Mets fans' existence, given the deal that the Mets made. Now he's back here in San Francisco. As you take a look at Flores' strikeout.
met up with them with Darren in Miami, along with J.D. Davis last week.
No.
And they looked at each other and they're like, "Yep, I got traded for him. He got traded for me, and now we're teammates." Less than a year ago, back in San Francisco. Oh. That was right there.
That was the ball that Peterson actually pulled foul right there. If Ruff could do the same thing, it would have went over Gabe's head. But he swung and missed like most people would.
That was a sword.
That was a sword.
Outside.
And then you go change up away. Well, Verlander threw today. Mets fans will be pleased to know, and threw very well. That looks like another non-game situation, right? And then you go out for a rehab start, and then maybe you're back.
He's very close.
It's close.
Pitch count already up to close to 40 pitches or so. So maybe one more stretch out, and then you're looking at a guy who could pitch in a big league game in a couple of weeks and give you 75 plus pitches. As soon as you get up to that mark and you get up to 75 pitches, it's like, why waste the bullets? Come on up if you feel good.
3-2, and yes, says the first base umpire. Darren Ruff went. He's punched out. Derek Thomas is down there at first base, making his major league debut. And let's see.
That looked like he did go on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good call. And the pitch formerly known as a slider, now called a sweeper, did the job.
It's the old break the wrist right there.
Yep.
Definition of a check swing.
Thomas's wife Tracy and son Zachary and his parents are here as well. Talked about Drew Maggi getting called up to the Pirates. It's an umpire making his major league debut. What a thrill for Derek and his family. 0-2. Lamont Wade started this game with some real loud noise as he rocked one off the Levi's landing sign out there in right field for a long single, and he was able to come in and score on the Jock Peterson RBI single.
First pitch of the game, and a rocket too.
Rocket. Be real interesting to see how the Giants improve when they get their guys back. When you see Slater and Haniger swing and a foul ball at the plate. Peterson back. The front office, if you talk to those around the Giants, they're convinced that they are a legitimate contender. And look, they're 7-13 on the season. Kapler's done really well not to lose his patience.
Well, we know what they want to do. We know how he likes to manage. We know the personnel that he has, that they're going to flip whenever they can, try to leverage matchups, get the platoon advantage whenever he can. So he doesn't have all his weapons to be able to do that as of yet, and soon will have.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wade swing and a drive to right. This one in the corner. Marte won't get there. It hops. Wade to second base, and he will be in there with a double. 2-out double for Lamont Wade, second hit of the night.
So those reverse splits are real. You know, sometimes you look at them and you're like, okay, left against right. You bring in those 2 pinch hitters, righties. You use them against Raley, knowing that the numbers favor the lefty. Here comes Lamont Wade Jr., the lefty. Hits it off the end of the bat, but he ends up at second base making contact. And now Michael Conforto can redeem himself for that error he made earlier.
Ahead of Conforto, 0-1. Great to see Michael Conforto back on a baseball field. He was a terrific collegiate player, had some good success with the Mets, and that injury which derailed him missed 2 years.
Well, his bat speed is back. He's already shown that. The pop is there. He's a potential 30 home run guy at a minimum when he's right.
Yeah. Drew Smith warming in the bullpen as that pitch is pulled wide. Scott Alexander, the lefty, warming for the Giants. Two balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch. He swung at it way out of the zone. Raley, like Brigham, walks off the mound to end the inning with a strikeout. Mets relievers outstanding when it came to punching guys out. 4-4. This one is going to be decided in the late innings. Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Casamigos Tequila. Brought to you by those who drink it. Unbelievable setting here. Of course, Candlestick Park, where the Giants played for so many years. Then they come downtown, and we are in Oracle Park. Camera 7 busy right now. Eduardo always loves to know what camera. That was camera 7, Eduardo, and the first pitch to McNeil. Ground ball to second. He's retired. The 5th Giant pitcher, Scott Alexander, the left-hander, is on. Listen to every MLB game live or on demand, new and included for 2023. Watch all minor league baseball and live look-ins on MLB beginning. No blackouts.
Love the fans.
Tommy Pham, the pinch hitter.
They don't forget here.
Getting vocal, too. Defensive changes for Gabe Kapler. Flores is now at first base. Yastrzemski moves to center field. Lamont Wade is in left. Joey Bart now behind the plate. Pham fouls that off. This is part of that ability, especially down the bottom of the order. Obviously, in this case, a little closer to the middle, that Buck Showalter has the ability to mix and match with his lefties and righties. Pitch inside on the corner for a called strike.
Yeah, this Mets lineup, this Mets roster, a lot of versatility built into it. Top of the order gets a lot of fanfare, and rightly so.
Beaten into the ground, and a good hop over there for Davis. He'll throw across, and Pham is retired.
You never get tired of these camera shots we get here. I mean, just remarkable. Great job by our production crew.
So you're all about camera 7 yourself?
Just amazing. You know, and then you look down there, you could my favorite home uni too, the Giants home uni.
Is that
that
right?
kind of cream color.
Soft on the eyes.
Just gorgeous. Perfect for this ballpark.
Giants scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, then 2 in the fourth. They haven't scored in the last 3 innings. Mets get on the board with 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and they had 1 in the sixth. We're 4-4. Mets have 8 hits. Giants have 7. Mets have left 6 on base, and the Giants 4. Off the glove, and he'll have plenty of time to pick and then throw underhand. So another good inning by a reliever for the Giants. Scott Alexander gets him 1, 2, 3. A lot of good glove work still to come in a 4-4 game. Bottom 8 coming up. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Casamigos Tequila. That's brought to you by those who drink it. Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets starting Marte and company in a 4-4 game. Francisco Alvarez left the yard Bird's eye view of his home run. It landed just about a row deep, and it was the first extra base hit for a Met catcher this year. As we continue now with Drew Smith on the mound. And the fans here who were booing Tommy Pham, that probably dates back to the Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham, Mike Trout Fantasy Football League slap heard around San Francisco and beyond. Peterson, of course, still a Giant, Pham not, so we'll boo the other guy. We cheer for that guy.
And Jock believes in turning the other cheek.
So I like what you did there. Really did.
Brilliant.
Since weekend at Coney's, I mean, the whole thing, you've just elevated the whole game. I mean, you get a lot of feedback on that?
People like weekend of earnings, yes.
A strikeout for the Mets bullpen.
Great things happen when good friends get together. So grab a glass, amigo. Our tequila is your tequila. Our casa is your casa.
Here is Jock Peterson.
Found a new juice for Casamigos too today, so we got that going for us. You can drink it and
for when you rosin.
Activate your rosin.
Almost feels like we should have Clooney in the booth for one game, doesn't it?
I'm all in. We can fly him up here. Probably up in the air.
You got no reaction in the booth, Eduardo, but I got the joke.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everybody inclusive on this. Not exclusive, inclusive.
You can take a slap, you can take a ball in the dirt. That one sails high. Our buddy Sarah Langs, of course, who has been providing incredible information all season and again all night. Giants' 14th game with 10 or more strikeouts at the plate this season, which is 2 more than any other team, as Jock Peterson walks to first base. Now with 1 out, Smith will deal with Yastrzemski.
Well, we've had a lot of conversation on Francisco Alvarez, how good he is offensively, and he's known as an offensive player, but behind the plate today, he's been really good. Making calls, he's asked for time, wanting a pitch. He's been able to communicate well with his pitchers, and even with the shadows, he's been able to frame up and present the pitches really well to Ortiz behind the plate.
You know, that's a great point, Eduardo, and Buck Showalter mentioned that too, that he's getting better back there, more quiet.
No.
Smith at 95, out of the zone. Bottom of the 8th inning of a 4-4 ball game. Yastrzemski, then Thairo Estrada. Showalter and company trying to end this 10-game road trip with their 8th win against just 2 losses. The 1-1 inside.
Yastrzemski can hit a fastball. Let's see if he challenges him with it, or does he go to the cambio?
Has not allowed a run his last 6 games, and this ball is towards the gap in right center. Nimmo over, will cut it off. Peterson steps on third. Here's the throw. Safe. A double from Yastrzemski. The Giants grab the lead in the bottom of the 8th, 5-4.
What with the changeup? Stayed in the zone, and Jock Peterson takes that secondary after putting that oven mitt on the right hand. And as soon as he sees right there, he knows he's scoring. He doesn't need his third base coach at all. Looking on in and sliding gracefully into home. Wasn't Turner, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. That's the opposite of Trey Turner, sliding into home.
So Drew Smith gives up a run. He had not allowed one in 5 2/3 innings.
You guys see the huge gash in his seat when he made that slide?
That's what we're calling it, a seat. I like it. Yeah. They needed him to come back from the IL, and he's proven big so far in this game.
Estrada will try to walk around and shake that off. And they'll bring Drew Smith to a meeting on the mound. Gabe Kapler comes out, Trainer comes out. First, a look at Yastrzemski's double.
Changeup stayed in the zone, and there it is.
Is that camera 7 again?
Could use some Casamigos, though, just to make sure that there's no infection.
Because of the time and everything, even if Smith would not have been visited, Gabe Kapler, the trainer, they all went out, and that's part of the strategy also, to give the player time and not get Crawford penalized.
28 percentage point jump when it comes to win probabilities. We take a look at our game track, brought to you by Geico. From 60% to 88%.
Big hit.
The big hit. Camilo Doval likely to come on and try to close this out. Pitched yesterday as Crawford rolls one over. Alonso will go to second and Lindor, and they will not throw back to Smith covering. The Giants will have Yastrzemski at third base with 2 down.
I love looking at win probability. Another way to look at the game, the importance of a hit. Timing is everything. It's certainly opportunistic, that category can be. Give Yastrzemski credit, though. He went out and covered that pitch at a big spot. Greatly enhanced the chance of his team winning this game.
Wilmer Flores was a Met from 2013 to 2018. Hit 19 homers last year, has 3 on the season, and a fastball top of the strike zone from Smith.
That's something Smith is doing a lot more, throwing in the top part of the zone, and comes into play when Justin Verlander in spring training said, look, your fastball's elite. Throw it up there.
You go with a fastball and then a slider like that to get ahead 0-2. Mets will have 8-9-1 due up. Runner goes. There'll be no throw from Alvarez in the scoring position. Crawford. And now a huge at bat for Flores. Behind 1-2. And Wilmer puts this sky high in the air. Alonso waves his hands in foul territory and watches it land in the leather. Francisco Alvarez leads things off, but it was grandson of the Hall of Famer Yastrzemski delivering Jock Peterson for the lead. We're back, so is Camilo Doval. He is on the mound trying to close this game out, get the Giants their second consecutive win against the New York Mets. He is the 6th Giant pitcher. Francisco Alvarez took this Rogers pitch out of the yard. As we take a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. 3.87 feet above the ground, which is where he made contact with it. 5th highest this season. Track that one. This will look a little different from Doval, who will get Alvarez, Canna, and then the top of the order. Alvarez jumped on the first one, 96-mile-an-hour sinker, 0-1. 0-2.
It's right on the black. Nothing you can do if you're Alvarez on that pitch.
Didn't want to swing at that one.
Last time the Giants started 7-13 was 2017. They finished 64-98. It feels like if they get everybody back, they'll be a lot better than 64-98.
Well, let's face it, in the West, it's not like anyone's taken off the way the Rays have in the East.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. And Duvall slider. Got him. Take a look at Mike Yastrzemski's big hit through the T-Mobile multi-view. One look over his right shoulder for Peterson. Allowed him to give himself the green light, and Yastrzemski picks up the big RBI to put him ahead.
Such a big outfield, and we had asked Brandon Nimmo earlier in the game, why does he play so deep? He plays almost in a no doubles position, so he's already that far, and even with the no doubles situation, it was hit right in the perfect spot for Joc Pederson to score.
Duvall ahead 0-2 to Canha. Mets will leave here, and they will begin a series with the Washington Nationals at home. Tony said they played more road games than anybody to start this season. They'll fall 100 miles an hour, and he strikes out Canha.
100 miles an hour is one thing. 100 miles an hour on the black is another.
Hear that baseball if you're standing in the box, go right by you.
Now Nimmo. At 101 miles an hour, he gets out of the way because he moved as soon as it left his hand. On the ground, Crawford. High throw, Flores holds the bag, and the Giants, for the second straight game, beat the New York Mets. The final tonight, 5-4 in 2 hours, 37 minutes.
Big win for the Giants, coming back and splitting this series. Lost the first 2 games, win the last 2. They're getting healthy. Reinforcements on the way. It's a nice win for them.
2 in a row. Fans have to love it. Keep Nimmo off the bases, exactly what they did, and they gave themselves a chance.
And they're getting healthier, and the Mets are going home. They'll finish this 10-game road trip at 7-3. Joc Pederson will join John Anderson and the versatile Nicole Briscoe on SportsCenter next. Eduardo Perez, David Cohn, Buster Olney. I'm Carl Ravitch, our entire production crew. Thanks so much for watching Sunday Night here in San Francisco. We'll be in Houston next week. SportsCenter will follow right here. So long, everybody. From San Francisco, the Giants are winners.